Hi everyone, I'm Jenny.
And I'm Logan.
And we're from Figtree Kids. It's so great to be here with you today. Normally, we'd be in church. But we're watching this special pantomime online because this year things have been a bit different.
They have been a bit different, and that means Christmas is going to look a bit different. But Jenny, what's something you really like to do at Christmas usually?
I love to eat and I love to unwrap presents, and I love seeing the wonder on my grandkids' eyes when they unwrap their presents, and I love thinking about God's fantastic gift to us, the gift of Jesus.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you like to do, Logan?
I really love to eat as well. In fact, when it comes to Christmas breakfast and the family all comes together at our house, it's just a fantastic time.
Yum.
Yeah, but I also love coming to church.
Yes.
Seeing the friends that we've made here and being able to come together and worship God together.
Yes.
What better time can you have?
Okay, so let's just enjoy what's about to come. I can't wait to see the pantomime.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
It was a mild summer morning in Australia, a snowy dark evening in Sweden, and a hot night in Israel. It was the kind of night where you can't sleep with the doona on, but only a sheet. The kind of night where you might even wet the sheet and put the fan on, or better yet, the air conditioner, just so you can sleep. But come to think of it, this story takes place a long time ago, when there was no electricity for a fan, probably no doonas, and as we will find out soon, there wasn't even a booking app to organise a room in advance. You see, with this story, it's important that you know what was going on all around the world, because this is a story for the entire world. It's even important that you know it was a story from a long time ago, because this is a story that is ageless. It is for every person in every place. So with a story like this, you could imagine that perhaps it would start with quite a bang. And it did, in fact, begin that way. Such a bang, in fact, that it rather startled some shepherds who, after a long day's work in the hot sun, were finally laying down on the grass. Sheep all settled, ready for the cool change to help them go to sleep.
What a day! I mean, who knew that sheep could be so cute, but so extra? Did you see me chasing down number 99 down the river?
We've totally earned our rest. I could sleep all day.
over here?
The best, the greatest, no better news.
Today, in the town of David, a Saviour has been born. He is Christ the Lord.
You may be wandering around in a town full of babies and tourists at the moment. Even busier than North Beach on New Year's Day. So how will you find the right baby? Allow us to demonstrate. The baby will be wrapped in a swaddling cloth, lying in a manger. Ta-da!
Well, I guess it's not 2020 where we're not allowed to travel. Let's organise the sheep and go.
And they were right. It wasn't 2020, the year of no travel. In fact, not only were they allowed to travel, but everyone was travelling because of the census. Did I tell you that's how this baby came to be born in Bethlehem, of all places? I guess the story started even earlier than I let on. It began before this night of surprising visits from angels, shepherds on hills, and definitely before 2020. In a room of no consequence, there were, however, of course, more surprising angel visits.
Father in heaven, I would like to talk to you about my plans for the year. You know I'm marrying Joseph, and he is such a great guy. The kind of guy who would never let you run out of toilet paper, if you know what I mean. He's kind and thoughtful, and our wedding is coming up soon, and I just can't wait. I have a vision of what this year is going to hold.
Mary, so sorry to break in mid-prayer. I have some news that somewhat may affect your prayers.
What is it? It's not the toilet paper situation again, is it?
No, you have nothing to be afraid of, Mary. The news I bring is wonderful. You have found favor with God, and you're going to have a baby. You're going to call him Jesus. He is the Son of Most High. He is the forever King the whole world has been waiting for.
I am the Lord's servant. May everything you have said come to pass.
And it did come to pass. Not all at once, but slowly. And in time, as so often is the case, Mary, who sat in a room of no consequence, a room not adorned by beauty, by riches, or by size, received the message of a Saviour in faith.
Let earth this
Mary was really pregnant when there was breaking political news. No, not a new president. Caesar Augustus wanted to count all his people, so everyone had to go to their hometown. Joseph's hometown was Bethlehem, and so they got their things together and headed south.
Not far now, Mary. We're almost there.
That's good, because I think I'm about to have this baby.
Ah, here we are. Just as I remember. Dusty feet, palm trees swaying in the breeze, and a little inn that'd be the perfect spot to have our baby. Hi, a room for 2.5 guests, please. Well, 2 3/4, eh? Yeah, more like 3 guests. 3 guests, please. My wife is about to have a baby.
Well, as much as I would like to help you, and believe me I would, I simply don't have room.
You don't have another solution? A tent perhaps, or even a cave will do.
Well, as it happens, it's not much to look at, but I do have some shelter with the animals if you think you can manage it. One of the sons in a long line of David, aren't you, Joseph? He's known to have slept outside with the animals once or twice, so I'm sure he can thrive. Think of yourself as an olden day Bear Grylls survivor.
Thank you. I shall draw from the inspiration.
This way, kind people.
So that night, under the stars, surrounded by the smells and sounds of the animals, Mary had her baby. You might have thought there would have been thunderous applause, fireworks, or even news coverage. But the King of the whole world entered in the same way that he would soon save it, humbly.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices all night divine, all night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy
Our shepherds weren't far away now. From the time they heard the angels sing, they looked for the baby. And he wasn't that hard to find. They recognized him straight away, in fact. There weren't many babies who were dressed in the same kind of cloths they wrapped sheep in that were going to be sacrificed. These shepherds couldn't help but wonder if this was perhaps a sign, a Messiah, a forever king type of sign. They certainly seemed to know who he was, because they bowed down to worship him.
I can't believe we were the ones to see this miracle.
Now that we've seen it with our own eyes, Emmanuel, God is with us. And how can we keep it in? Is the answer to all our prayers, all of our frightened, lost, broken, lonely prayers. He came to be with us. And he didn't come as a song or a poem or a story. He answered our prayers by coming down to be with us.
Man, have you ever noticed how many promises go around at Christmas time? You got kids going, "Mom, if I do an awesome job at school, can I have a PS5? And you got parents going, "We promise if your room is clean and you do all the right things at school, we'll get you a new bike." And promises going left, right, and center. And far out, even in the story we've heard today, it's one promise after another. Man, Christmas has some big promises. Think about it. First came the shepherds. God sends his angel, talks to these shepherds, and there's a promise. What was it? There's a really special baby who's going to be born. The baby is a king and he's a savior. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm a shepherd and I'm looking after my sheep at night and an angel from outer space turns up and says to me, God says his son, your king, is being born, I'd say, where? And they say, in the container you feed animals out of, a manger. I'd say, no way. But that was the promise. God was saying to the shepherds, come see, he will be there. Would you go? I don't know if I'd go. Well, before even the angels, God spoke to Mary through his angel. Now, Mary's just a girl in junior high. And God says to Mary, I promise you're going to have a baby. Mary's thinking, I'm not even ready to have a baby. I'm not even married yet. And God, through his angel, says, Mary, you're going to have a baby. The baby's going to be great. The baby's my son. I've got a plan for you. Mary's thinking my plan was just to get to go to my year 10 formal one day. But God says, I've got a bigger plan. And the plan is you're going to give birth to a baby. His name is Jesus. And they'll call him Emmanuel, God with us. Just come with me. I've got a plan. God was saying to Mary, come with me. He will be there. Would you go? God's plan is a pretty big promise. The promise is even bigger because God said to Mary, the baby will be called Emmanuel. And Emmanuel is more than a nickname. It's a huge promise. It's a promise because it means God with us. God's promise was that where Jesus is, that's where God is. And the promise is so big that it's also really old because God first made this promise before Mary. God promised a prophet called Isaiah 800 years before Jesus was even born. That's like 3,000 years before now. He said to Isaiah, Isaiah, here's my promise. I want you to tell all my people that one day I'm going to cause a girl just like Mary to have a baby. And that baby will be me with my people, Emmanuel. Whew. Just wait and see, God was saying. Wait and see. He will be there. Would you believe? I don't know if I'd believe if I was Isaiah. But you know what? Christmas and Jesus being born means that God has always kept his promise. He kept his promise to the shepherds. They came and saw, and there was Jesus. He kept his promise to Mary. Come with my plan. And there was Jesus. And he even kept his promise to Isaiah. 800 years later, Christmas happened. Jesus was born. Emmanuel. And Jesus' nickname, Emmanuel, well, it's a promise to you and it's a promise to me. And this is the promise that God makes. Where Jesus is, I'm there, because Emmanuel means God with us. God says to us, if we ask Jesus to be our friend, we will always be with God. So this Christmas, God says to us, come see Jesus. I'll be there.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, now the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Yes, Lord, we greet thee on this happy morning. Jesus, to thee be your glory given. Word of the Father, now in flesh appearing. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Oh, come, adore him. Gather round the throne before him. Oh, come, adore him. Christ the Lord. Oh, come, adore him. Gather round the throne before him. Oh, come, adore him. Christ the Lord. Christ the Lord. Christ the Lord. Come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
So here it is, Christmas 2020. And there is an invitation to come to Emmanuel, to come to Jesus, the King of Christmas, to come to hope, to life, and to pray to him, knowing he has already answered every prayer by coming to be with you. Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us. Merry Christmas.
Come, they told me, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, a newborn king to see, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, to lay before the king, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, ra-pa-pam-pam, ra-pa-pam-pam. So to honor him, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, here we come. Little baby, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, I am a poor boy too, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam. I have no gift to bring, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, that's fit to give our king, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, ra-pa-pam-pam, ra-pa-pam-pam. Shall I play for you, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, on my drum? Mary nodded, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, the ox and lamb kept time, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam. I played my drum for him, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam. I played my best for him, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, ra-pa-pam-pam, ra-pa-pam-pam. Then he smiled at me, pa-ra-pa-pam-pam, me and my
How good was that? In fact, Jenny, I love that. What was your favourite part?
I really loved the donkey. I loved the dog. It was a bit crazy, but it was really cute. What about you?
It was pretty cute. I actually really liked the shepherds. They were a bit frightened at first, but they kept believing in the promise, which I just thought was really cool.
It was cool, and I loved that message. I loved finding out that Jesus is God's son come to earth.
Definitely. And what it really showed to me is that no matter what, God's going to keep his promise to you, to me, and to you guys.
That is so true. So God bless you, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas.